welcome. It is a pleasure. Welcome. Hello, V5O. Thank you. I'm going to jump in by moving my cat and sharing my screen. Here we go. So I am Dr. Wayne Pernell. I'm known as Dr. P. I am the Exponential Success Coach. And how did I get here? Well, here's it. It didn't start so cleanly.
That's great.
That cute little kid that was big ears, and I was picked on for those ears. It's kind of funny. So I'm going to start a timer for myself to keep track as well. All right. So there are a lot of things. What I realized in doing a spotlight is that there are a lot of things that people don't know about me. And I realized that even sometimes my own family doesn't even know half the stuff I'm up to. So it started, I will say that my journey has been kind of amazing. I started as this geeky little kid, the Dr. P part of Dr. P. I have a doctorate in clinical psych, and I'll tell you about that in a second. I was known as Dr. P because I was presenting some stuff for my kids and at their school. And the teacher wrote, "Welcome, Mr. Pernell," on the board. And I go, well, if it's accurate, it's Dr. Pernell, but that is so formal for these little kids. They can call me Wayne. And the teacher was like, they can't call you Wayne. It's like, okay, well, they can't call me Dr. Pernell. I mean, that's too formal. So I wrote Dr. P on the board. And when I'd show back up at the elementary school and, I'd walk around, they'd go, Dr. P, it's Dr. P. And it was great. So it actually stuck. And when I began doing magic, I called it the magic of Dr. P. And that became a big thing because as little kids would call me Dr. P at in their school, when I was doing consulting and continued on, the strange thing was to be called that like at an airport at 5 a.m. and it's like, is that Dr. P? Is that Dr. P? Someone had seen me perform magic. Not very many people know that I've cut my wife into thirds. I am the founder and president of Dynamic Leader. I do a program called Exponential Success, and I'm a speaker, 4th degree black belt as well. I mean, there's other stuff I do. I'm a ham radio operator, and people go, well, what haven't you done? It's like, well, I do sign language, I do all kinds of stuff, but I've never jumped out of an airplane, and I'm not that great at like doing scuba or stuff like that. Like, I don't know, the big adventures at some point, maybe. So a little background and a left turn. My doctorate, the doctory part of Dr. P, is my doctorate's in clinical psych. And I was doing traditional therapy. And at one point, a guy calls me and he goes, "Thank you so much. Thank you for the work you've done with me and my wife. I really appreciate it." And I go, "Well, this is a lovely call." And he goes, "But that's not why I'm calling you." I'm like, "Well, what? He goes, "Look, that thing you did, can you do that thing? That thing you did with me and my wife, can you do that thing?" I'm like, what? That thing? He goes, "Can you do that thing you did with me and my wife? Because our lives are better. Can you do that with me and my vice president?" And I'm like, oh, right? Because what I did, this was 37 years ago, 3.5 decades ago. So it sounds strange to say decades. 3.5 decades ago, I took a left turn into business because this guy that called me and asked me to do that thing I did with him and his wife, I hadn't realized he was the president of a major organization in South San Francisco. And I began working with him and his vice president, and we did communication work. We did values-based work. We looked at what each of them did value and how they were communicating that. And from there, we looked at the company values. And from there, we set a strategy for the business based on company values. And one thing led to another, and I began consulting and helping leaders in organizations. And the organizations have included small things you've never heard of, like Schwab or 3Com or Whole Foods Market or AAA, Simplex, Grinnell, Safeway, Bank of America. Those are some of the people at the executive level that I've helped along the way. So now what, right? Well, now I'm doing books, I'm doing blogs. I have a series of books, blogs, podcast. I have a signature mastermind, which I'll tell you about. Next one's in April in Atlanta. I'd love for you to come. Only a few seats left. One-to-one coaching. It's elite coaching at a very high level. I do speaking and I do corporate facilitation. And most people only know a piece of those. And I invite you to explore further at waynepernell.com. You can look around. Yeah, I have 5 books out there with another one on the way. My first one, Choosing Your Power, was a personal development book. Focus on language, on stop apologizing for showing up, for really owning your space in the world. I've written leadership books. I've written transition books. I wrote a book as a compilation with Brian Tracy. And these are the 5 books that are out there. And another one is on the way. And it's based on the work that I did with my last TED Talk. The blog is called Wednesdays with Wayne. And if you sign up, you can get the blog. This one just came out today, Abandoning Hope, Welcoming Excellence. And so what you've got on your screen is a screenshot of my blog page. But if you sign up, you'll get it in your inbox every week, Wednesdays with Wayne. And so I invite you. It's a leadership tidbit. It's inspirational, and it's a super quick read. And I wrote it. I write them specifically to be fast, uplifting, enlightening. So, and it starts, I'm changing, I'm growing a lot. That was today's. So every Wednesday, I also have a podcast. You might have noticed my voice. So I do One Sharp Sword, Cutting Through to What Matters Most. This is the page where you can find my podcast. It's basically on anywhere that you have podcasts, anywhere that they're available. You can sign up. Awesome. What else? Let's see. Well, besides books and blogs and podcasts, I also run, I'm trying to get that to click. There we go. I also run group programs. So typically between 12 and 20 people in a room. The Exponential Success Summit is 2 to 3 times a year. The next one is in Atlanta. It is something that over and over and over again, it's been called life-changing. And that to me is it's the biggest compliment. It's really the biggest compliment that I could get, to change people's lives and for the positive, right? So it's small group. I get people working on things that are very personal to them. And the movement is truly exponential, which is why I call it the Exponential Success Summit. The idea is that it's a mastermind, right? So if I have $1 and you have $1 and we trade dollars, then we each have $1. But if I have an idea and you have an idea and we trade ideas, then we have 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, how many ideas? Like a mastermind is all about up-leveling, right? So I take accomplished leaders to exponential success by optimizing their mind state, which is different. I believe mind state is fluid, and that in any moment, you can change your state of mind. And it's different than mindset, right? Which I am a huge fan of. And I want to make that distinction, right? And I up-level excellence. That's my brand. Like everything is about up-leveling. And I do it by focusing really on vision. Where do you start? What are your values? How do you build a vision based on your values? And how do you have the vitality? How do you have the energy where you've given it all and you need to bring even more? VIP coaching, 6 months to a year of engagement at the highest level, focus on clarity. If you don't know where you're starting, or where you're headed, you won't know how to get there. Energy, courage. People back away, even at the highest level, people back away from, and you may find yourself doing this, backing away from the hard decisions in your life, right? Productivity, influence. I'm also a speaker. I've been on stages across the country and around the world. My latest TEDx was very well received. In just a week, I've had over 1,100 views. Very proud of that. I've been on TV. I'm on TV and in print media, Forbes, New York Times, etc. Over and over again, probably every week I'm in the media and I'm on stages. So there's a little bit about that. The dynamic leader piece is the corporate facilitation. And I help the needle movers, are basically, how do we facilitate conversation, right? How do we get things moving? How do you boost your own exponential success? How do you work with me? This is it. Join me, right? So I've got blogs, I've got podcasts, I've got books, I've got events, I do speaking, and I help people up-level their success exponentially, not just incrementally. Reach out to me, WaynePernell@gmail.com. WaynePernell.com is where you find all this information. And if you're interested in being one of the few at the last remaining seats at my Exponential Success Summit, I would love to have you join me in Atlanta, April 8th and 9th.